Okay, so yep, a very good afternoon to everyone, and I'm Kenny, and your MC for the second half of today's online conference. In this session, we will be discussing on the topic of adapting industry expertise to the theme park industry. And I'm glad today to be introducing a childhood friend of mine, whose company is very involved with the engineering work in the regional theme park industry. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Mr. Tan Yi Wei, Executive Director, Cyclec Group, who would share with us his views today. Mr. Tan, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Kenny. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen real quick, all right? Just give me a moment. Okay, do you see the front or the back now?
Yeah, this is okay. This is okay.
This is okay, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, and thanks. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting us to share our experience in the theme park industry. So I just want to introduce our company. So we are a Cyclec Group of companies, and I'm Tan Yi Wei, one of the directors there. So with regards to our experience in the theme park industry, we wanted to share how did we come from a mostly industrial background. It means we are specialists in mechanical and electrical engineering, and we have served industries like, oops, sorry, let me just, okay. So we've served industries like the pharmaceutical, water treatment, process industry. How did we come from heavy industry to building, the theme park rides and shows, okay? So this is just a quick little look at, we serve many industries, but the relevant kind of work that we did, that we applied for the theme park industries stemmed from these that you see on the screen, from the pharmaceutical industry to the chemical and process industry, water treatment plants, even flavors and fragrance plants and factories, like for food production. Okay, so these are some kinds of work that we've done. We built up our technical expertise over decades, right? So the teams have all been very versed in building mechanical structures, fabrication works, and the M&E installation, the works for all these major projects. So we were fortunate to be involved in the theme park industry because in the late 2000s, the Singapore government actually they introduced a lot of commercial projects, including the famous casinos like Marina Bay Sands, Resorts World Sentosa, Gardens by the Bay, the Formula One Grand Prix, and of course, Universal Studios, the first major branded theme park in Singapore to be constructed in Resorts World Sentosa itself. So all these were through government initiatives, right? So when they opened up the tender for the engineering companies, we believe that we could apply our industrial knowledge, our fundamentals to this industry, because we look through the specs and we say, hey, this is basically what I've been doing for decades, and we believe that we could apply it to building shows and rides since the opportunity is there. So we participated in these tenders, right? So these are some screenshots of the kind of work that we did for the theme park. So as you can see, it's not too much different. There's a lot of water work, heavy structure lifting, electrical installation, and all that. Okay, so we were fortunate to be recognized in the industry over the years, and we were entrusted to be awarded to install over 15 rides, 12 shows, and showcases, exhibitions, if you will, so across 3 theme parks. All right, and we are proud to say that we have maintained a very good safety record throughout all these years. We've hit 2 million 2 million safe man hours. Okay, so what are the deliverables that we provide for the theme park industry? Excuse me. We provide steel and structural work and installation, including fabricating those special effects items. We do tracks, rigs, overhang equipment, props, support, steel works. Of course, the ride installation that were imported from the US, fabricated in US and other countries, and bring over. We are the ones who actually installed them. Install the tracks, the large columns, the brake systems, and as well as the show elements, those wonderful animatronics and props that you see, of course, again, brought in by overseas specialists, but we are the guys at the local level to install them and making sure that they work and function according to the plan, right? So we also provide the electrical portion, which comprises the cabling works for the high voltage, low voltage power cabling, control cabling like fiber optic systems. And we did the installation for, just a moment, the lighting, sensors, audio, visual, and various others. Okay, so in order to deliver those things, we cover end-to-end services from the engineering design, front-end engineering, system study, space management, routing, to the procurement of materials, manufacturing, fabrication of them, building, installing them, construction, project management, testing, commissioning, hookups, as well as the operation and management portion, which is to say the maintenance works during the operation stage, right? So we did the whole cycle of solutions for the projects. So as with any major project, there are many key deliverables. Of course, in a theme park, there's many more than the 6 that you see here, but I thought I'd just highlight these because I think they are quite unique to this industry. Okay, very importantly, we had to meet very tight schedules because any delays would cause delays in the openings and launch of the theme park itself. So proper milestone charting, accountability, traceability is very important, as well as coordinating with all the design build vendors from overseas. We had to do review combined services drawings, to build our skill set and equipment and manpower and know-how for extreme heavy lifting for all the props and structures. We were working with super flat surfaces, which is unique to this industry because of the rights. And of course, it's done by other vendors in terms of the super flat surface, but we have to make sure we could work within that parameter. And we had to introduce or learn new installation methods, such as small column tolerance, special hydraulic jacking, and tightening systems as well. We brought in and we trained up our guys to be industry-specific tradesmen. Of course, we have our regular M&E guys, engineers, supervisors, and all that. But for the theme parks and the rides, we had to ensure that we had a very strong team of welders who are familiar, well-versed with 6G, 3G, TIG welding, fitters in relation to this unique installations, certified lifting supervisors. There's so much heavy things to lift and rig. All right, signalers, watchmen, and on the electrical side, all the skilled workers for laying and termination of cabling. Right. So our process, I will not go into detail for each of them, but this is basically the cycle of process that we use for the project management. So throughout each project, our team of experienced and committed managers, engineers, supervisors, they will provide the full project management services with our best practices in total quality control at all stages. I mean, certified to all the ISO standards that you would expect of this project of this scale. So some examples would be will be understanding the initial concept and design by the DBVs, the design build vendors, requesting the client to provide the macro and micro schedules. We will integrate our own micro schedules based on the deliverables, site handover and installation schedules with very specific dates, and we will execute them according to the master plan upon review. And there's of course many others, but maybe just touch 1 or 2 more. We'll make sure that the installation process are carried out smoothly and comply to the Type 1, Type 2, and OHS safety compliance. And of course, at the testing, commissioning, and maintenance stage, we have to be very certain to complete the loop. So one important element was the process documentation, whereby the purpose is for traceability, right? We have to set up proper documentation, such as requests for information or RFI, daily reports, transmittals, work requisitions, method of statements, risk assessments, and etc. So this ensured that we were always on track, and no one is, because there's so many vendors that were crisscrossing their services. So we had to make sure we had to do our part on time and make sure to take over when the earlier vendor finishes his scope, right? So these are some examples of the method of statements and risk assessment forms that we have provided for this project. We made sure to provide timely progress reports. And we're very proud to say that through the experience of the theme park construction projects, we were able to network and work closely with iconic, renowned vendors from around the world, specialist vendors for theme park rides around the world, from iTech Entertainment to Burkett to Scenario, Adirondack, Zampella, and Oceaneering, and many others. All are very, very well-known companies in the field. So next, I'd just like to share a bit about our portfolio, about some of the projects that we've done, especially in Universal Studios, a bit of behind-the-scenes photos, so you get a sense of what happens behind the scenes. All right, so yes, as mentioned, we did the most of the rides for Universal Studios Singapore for all the mechanical and electrical works. It spanned from 2009 to 2014, including all the new rides along the way and expansion works. All right, so we handled the M&E portions as mentioned. For mechanical, we did things like installing the rides, primary and sorry, just give me a moment. Yeah, certain details I need to read. So ride installation like tracks and columns in its braking systems, secondary steel and structural works for rigs, rock work, overhang equipment and props to support steel works, show elements such as props, animatronics, theming, custom-made show elements for the SRVs, specialist what vendor? Right. Specialist ride vendors, right? For example, moving elements, automated gates, drop ceiling, vortex tunnels, facilities termination, including gas train and gas piping, gas instrumentation, CDA line, water line, and all piping support, and of course, the testing and commissioning phase. For the electrical portion, as mentioned, we did all the power cabling for high voltage, low voltage, including control cabling, such as fiber optic, which is a special skill set required. We did all the lightings, the sensors, AV installation as well, and the TNC. So without further ado, this is some behind the scenes looks of what we did for Waterworld. Okay, we installed the props for them, fabricated, installed show elements, pyrotechnics, back of house work, mechanical gas piping, etc. And I'll share why that is important, because this is a prop for the plane, and this is how it looks like during the show, right? So it has to happen once every couple of hours, so things have to always be working smooth. So behind the back of house, you see things like this, which isn't the most glamorous, of course, because it is the things that make all these shows exciting and what make them function. So where we value add is because we help our clients achieve the local code compliance, right? From our experience in the oil and gas and process industry experience. So that means things like regulatory matters, the overseas specialists, when they come to Singapore to build these projects together with us, they will have a bit more difficulty trying to learn and understand the local code, which we were there to provide that service and help them to get to those local standards faster, so that it saves everybody time and money, right? In order to launch the thing on time. Sorry, so okay, next is the Revenge of the Mummy, right? I won't go through the detail again, because it's some of them repetition of certain deliverables, gas piping, electricals, and whatever not. So this is some of the background, back-end work that we did, the tracks, the props, the track that zooms upwards, theming stuff, right? And this is the track, how it looks like. This is a track a ride that happens in the complete darkness, where you can't see what's around you other than perhaps certain flashes of props and images and lights. So this is what it looks like behind the scenes, right? So you can imagine in the dark, you're just spinning around in this unknown labyrinth. So it's a very, very thrilling ride, right? These are examples of what you can see only when there's flames. Okay. Another one would be lights, camera, action, which is a special effects showcase, and we did all the piping and flame works that resulted in these kinds of effects that you see there, right? So behind the scenes, this is what it looks like. Again, not very glamorous, but well, this is what makes the magic happen. All the hardworking guys that on the ground, ensuring that things are working according to the specs and on time, right? Then this is the end result as you see. And these are examples of some of the things that happen during the show because of the work that we do and the fabrication of these structures, right? Next is the Jurassic Park water ride. This is a very interesting one because it's entirely on water, and you will see the animatronic dinosaurs along the way. So same thing, we fabricate and install show elements, the props, the water lines. Well, this is what the audience would be sitting on, riding through the tunnel. And these the dinosaur props that we've installed. This is one of those up close. And yeah, this is just a little look at how it looks like. Electronics that our guys installed, T-Rex, and the water rapid experience as well, right? So behind the scenes, all this have to happen for these rides to work smoothly. And next, a very iconic one. I highly recommend this ride. It's so good. It's the Transformers ride, which we were able to install in, no way, it's okay. Okay, so we did the installation of all the props that were cross-shipped in from US. Okay, fabricated some of the show elements. Of course, the vehicle was brought in from overseas, and then we installed them. Made sure that all the tracks and the movement and sensors were working well. Okay, these are our guys behind the scenes. All right, we had to lift so much heavy equipment like this giant motor for certain lifting mechanisms, props, theming. The structure was super large and heavy that our guys had to fit like a giant Lego brick, right? This was meant for the ride that goes up 2 levels and dropping down again. So quite an interesting challenge for this one. Our guys at work, and this is us, myself, like consultant at the soft launch of the Transformers ride all these years back. This is how it looks like if you were there in person. So little preview. Highly recommended to, once things open up, once things get better, to come to Singapore to experience this ride. There was a 3D wall that our guys had to work around to make sure things running well. Okay, so I'll just wrap up the rest of the rides. I won't go into details. So Madagascar was one of them. What's this called? The Enchanted Airways, right? The dragon ride, they call it. Another Jurassic Park canopy flyer ride. Sesame Street show and ride, Spaghetti Space Chase. And lastly, the Puss in Boots Giant Journey roller coaster, which is one of the last projects that our guys completed at the Universal Studios Singapore. And it's some of the pictures behind the scenes of how it came to be, right? Some prop work, and the end result is what you see here. Okay. So very, very proud of our theme park team who made all this come together from humble beginnings. Right, so to close off my presentation, so what was the opportunity and growth that we had after all these projects? Well, we became known within the industry, within the circle. We had built a strong reference over the years and became recognizable within the region at least, right? So there were more opportunities for theme park construction, especially overseas, like for example in Malaysia, and we were fortunate to be awarded the MAX theme park or movie animation park studios in Ipoh, right? So again, many nice brands like Megamind, the Cruise, or the animation studio teams, and then we were also selected to do the rides for Genting Skywars, which is the theme park in the mountains at Genting Highlands, right? So every project brought its own challenges and experience. And of course, our team, having built the experience, they were able to do the projects there. But bringing equipment up a mountain top in all the thin air to construct rides was quite a challenge as well. And our team was able to adapt to their unique environment, as well as adapting to the local compliance standards, right, for any territory that they worked in. So I think it's a testament to their resolve to see things through and being able to grow with each project, right? So blessing was that we were able to network with a lot of industry partners and build working relationships so that we were able to expand our portfolio of services to include theming, right? So if I have to take, well, I mean, my closing statement will be, if there's a biggest lesson or takeaway from this experience, that I think dare to swing above your weight, because just because you didn't have any prior experience in some or track record in one industry doesn't mean you have no chance in accomplishing or delivering a project in another industry. You can bring new things to the table, right? If your engineering fundamentals are solid, you can adapt it to a wide range of industries and even pioneer new working methods and solutions to those industries and market. So, because we've experienced this over many times throughout our decades in business, and yeah, we're just happy to be able to grow so far. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. It's pretty interesting, Cyclec having so many projects around this region. And you seem to give me the impression that basically anybody who wants to start up a theme park, they just need to come to you, put some investment, and you can put up everything with them, like a one-stop solution. Cyclec seems to be doing that.
Yes, that's correct. I mean, thanks for that acknowledgement on that, because it's no small feat, the team that did it. A lot of challenges at the starting part, a lot of teething problems, but I think they went through the school of hard knocks, as they say, through this project, especially in Singapore, and I think they've built to a credible level. Yeah.
Okay, so some questions from the audience. They were asking, are you able to both design and build theme parks?
Right. I'll let my SIC consultant, Mr. Kenneth Ng, to answer these questions, because he's the one actually doing all these projects. Right. Sure. So Kenneth. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Kenneth.
Hearing me? Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, with our capabilities, as you know, we are, as a SIC, Special Installer Contractor, we have worked with various partners. So typically your DBV, which is your design build vendors. So we are able to form a consortium with this group of people to deliver a complete solution for the theme park, for sure.
So what about, I think I'm very sure there are some other SICs around. What is your competitive advantage over the other SICs actually?
Of course, being the one and only in Singapore, of course, by no accidents, we were handpicked and we were able to deliver, and that's how we were made known to this industry as a special installer for theme park. And with that, we have actually gathered ourselves with the most efficient and effective tools, such as hydraulic tools, auto or wrenches, that we are able to deliver a very productive installation. That's why we are able to meet the very tight schedules. So through those experience, we were very specialized in both mechanical and electrical with the tools that we either custom made or selectively use for its productivity. So of course, that is also one of our trade secrets.
We shall not ask you to share your trade secrets, but one more question away from these two technical questions. How do you find, how do you find about the potential of the theme park industry, for Cyclec in Vietnam actually, and what are you doing, at this moment? Any plans or anything for Vietnam as of now?
Yeah, we were invited before, but it was during the pandemic period, so eventually it didn't materialize for us. Of course, we do and understand there is a lot of opportunity in Vietnam, and these are the countries that, of course, being a developing country, there's always a lot of infrastructures and development going on, and theme park is one of the industry that you can bring people to the country. You know, a lot of family has children, and children always look forward to a theme park. And smart enough, if you build a theme park, when you bring the kids, you got to have the parents around. So you are naturally bringing a lot of opportunity and hidden opportunity from the theme park industry for sure. So yeah, we do want to look for opportunity in theme parks in Vietnam.
So as we move towards the endemic stage, probably in 2022, 2023, so would you see the past discussion that you have with your the last client that did not came to fruition? Do you see those discussions going on again, like in 2022?
Yes, in fact, we were actually introduced and also invited to visit Vietnam again with some of this developer. So of course, there's nothing concrete at the moment, but if any of you here do have the opportunity that we can work together, do let us know, and we would like to explore where we can go from here.
Okay, thank you so much, Kenneth.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so that is Mr. Kenneth. The SIC consultant from Cyclec. And also thank you, Yue.